Hey everyone, excuse me. Good day to you, one and all, and welcome to another edition of Let's Talk About. Let's talk about it. And as always, this and other podcasts in the Jazzy Groove Rainy Day podcast family are brought to you by the power of five. If you like what we're doing, consider supporting the channel, and at the very least, hit the like button. Also, want to let you all know about an ongoing competition we have going on here, which is you can be in the running to win a 14-inch HP laptop preloaded with Windows 11 on it. And you can surf and play games and all the good stuff you want to do with it. You can also watch our YouTube channel on it. Shameless plug. And to enter the competition and get a chance to win it, all you have to do is subscribe to the channel. And optionally, you don't have to do this, but it does help. After you've done that, in the comment section below it, type in done. We are going to, we are going to have a raffle. We're going to pull a name out of a goldfish bowl or something like that, and we're going to announce the winner, and then send that wonderful laptop via USPS, to that lucky recipient. Now, again, in order for you to enter the contest and win the laptop, all you have to do is subscribe to the channel. It takes a second, and you could win something that's about $250, $300. I think that's a pretty good ROI, don't you? And now, with all that good stuff out the way, let's dive into today's topic. And it's going to be the Jacksonville police incident, or sheriff's office, I should say. Now, I had my initial reaction to it when it first broke a couple of days ago. But then I decided not to say anything just yet and see what stuff comes out that may or may not influence my decision. We've had some stuff come out. We've had people pontificate on it and discuss it and dissect it and everything else that you might think of. And to be totally honest with you, that's pretty effed up. And we're going to get into who is this person? I don't even know. I have no idea. I don't know who this is. I'll find out and I'll let you guys know. Let's not waste any more time. Ooh, what the heck? Hold on a second. We do it live. There that is. There I am. Let's shrink you down. There we go. We do it live. Sorry about that, people. Let's get into it.
Kids, if you don't know by now, when I have to eat the shit sandwich publicly, I will. And apparently I'm wrong. I'm dead wrong on this Jacksonville police traffic stop. So now that the body camera footage has been released, we're going to take a look at it. But first, I have to acknowledge all of those who are going to call me out and saying that I'm wrong. There's a ton of them out there, but I'm going to go for a few. Apparently, we have Tanis Scott, who is a YouTube fan or Instagram or Facebook fan of mine. He loves all my work, follows everything. Have you watched this release from the Jackson County Sheriff's Office? Did you know the DA's office advised there wouldn't be any charges on the deputy? Did you know the Sheriff's Office is currently investigating in to determine whether any policies are broken and advised he would condemn his deputies until a thorough investigation was completed? We see where you stand, though. Yes, I stand 100% against bad cops, criminal cops, and cops who hide behind policy.
Okay. He started off by apologizing for what we're all about to see. And he also went ahead and went so far as to say he's against bad cops. We're going to get into that a little bit later. Let's get back into this one now.
Now, I know, Tanis, you're a very young man. You're former military, it looks like. You got a long way to go. But I'm going to tell you something. When you create policy, it's so convoluted that cops can do anything they want with it, including brass fucking over the really good cops in the department and getting rid of them. Now, I know you were never a cop, so you don't understand that. When you create something like use of force, standards, policy, you can manipulate anything around it. And the most specific example I give lately is the concept of the 30 by 30 agenda lie that females commit less excessive force than males. Let me explain this to you. If I have Mike Tyson in his prime on a traffic stop and he is actively resisting, and I have 10 officers who are there, right? And 9 of them are all built like Evander Holyfield. Well, if they go right to their gun, I'm going to say it's going to be, I don't agree with that. You should be able to go toe-to-toe with them. But if I have one that's a female, 140 pounds, she's 5'6", and she goes up against prime Mike Tyson, all of us are going to say it's objectively reasonable that she goes right to her gun. It's Mike fucking Tyson in her prime. Do you see how that sliding scale of what is excessive is lowered for the lower common denominator? In other words, when it comes to that, we're not going to say it's excessive, right? Because of who we hire. When you water down the shit, you have to lower the standards for everything else.
I find no flaw or fault in his logic at all. It makes sense. And as we all know on this channel and this and other channels like it in the space, the bar for entry for males versus females in occupations that they both can enter, where they're actively competing against each other, isn't even close. And that is because physically, men are better than women on a physical sense. Now, on a holistic sense, like with worth and things like that, we are the same. I'll be the first to admit that. Everyone should be afforded, to paraphrase the Bill of Rights, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We all have that. We all should be allowed to have that. So that goes without saying. That's why you'll never hear any pushback from me when people say things like that. Because that's not what we're talking about. That's not what we're talking about at all. We're talking about when men and women compete for the same thing, in this case, law enforcement. If you got, all right, and let's not even do that. Let's do it even simpler than what this gentleman here was saying. Let's do a one-on-one situation. Mike Tyson in his prime versus a police officer. Now, unless he is No. Actually, no, his does work. Because now thinking about that, um, if Mike Tyson in his prime decides to haul off on somebody, they're going down. It is what it is. So if you got a, like 4 or 5 cops versus Mike Preston this time, and they're all male, then you don't expect them for as default to go for their weapon, because those guys should be able to subdue him at the very least, hand to hand. They should be able to also subdue him with a taser. But you see 4 or 5 guys having a melee with Mike Tyson in his prime. On the other side, you got 4 or 5 females on Mike Tyson in their prime. Mike is going to start throwing haymakers, and females are going to go down. So then you can see them going with their tasers in the shortcomings and their service revolvers as in, as a last resort. You can see them using deadly force. Now, either one of them on a traffic stop, can you honestly say, yeah, I can see you doing that? Let's be honest for a second. Let's talk about it. Can you honestly say that, yeah, I can see the females going for the weapons, but the males shouldn't? If that's the case, then why are they even there? Why are they there? One thing I will say about the whole men and women thing and payment stuff like that, because my wife and I had a discussion about it last night, and she brought some valid points. But and because she's talking about the pay gap stuff like that, and I told her about how it's all of one versus all the other, without taking into consideration other things that make it more nuanced. And she had nothing for that. So that can be said. I've also went as far as to say, when we talked about payment, she said she did this stuff, and I said, I use you as an example because you are the exception and not the rule. They can't use you because you're one of many. And even if you had like a sizable group of women who did this, you would still be a statistical blip. You wouldn't register. That's not to say you don't exist, but statistically speaking, you wouldn't matter. Now, what in the universe does that have to do with this conversation? Excuse me. I don't even remember what I was talking about. This is going to be one of those days. I do apologize right off the bat. It's going to be one of those days where you're kind of flighty. Let's get back to it and see if I remember what it was.
So when it comes to this, of course he's not going to say that any of his deputies violated policy because he has shit deputies on the street who can't fucking do their job. Let's go look. But wait, I may owe them an apology, right? I have to owe them an apology. Now, we're going to look at this first, of course. Officer Brandon Tatum, right? 6 years police officer who then leveraged the color of his skin and his political ideology to win over the hearts and minds of the Conservative Party and became their token black representative. He, of course, has to say, body camera released. William Anthony McNeil's arrest was justified. He was resisting lawful orders. He had a knife. William was in possession of drugs. Cell phone footage left out. Critical context. Body camera confirms the fact. The officers broke no laws. Case closed. Well, I may owe them an apology, right? Because Officer Brandon Tatum seems to know more than the rest of us. And again, remember I said in the last video, the power of words. He had a knife. Where was the knife? On the floor of the car. But he had a knife. It was still in possession, right? Semantics. He was in possession of drugs. To my knowledge, somebody said he had drugs in the trunk of his car. I haven't seen that yet. But he had weed in his pocket. That's drugs. Do you see how they manipulate the fucking words to leverage their side of the argument? And then I want to look at Police Law News, who I respect his content. I like his content. This one, in my opinion, is just a shit take. But I want to hear what he has to say, and we'll go from there.
Exit the vehicle now. Exit.
All right, so this one is infuriating, but it has a good fucking ending. Here's what happened. All right, so yesterday a guy named William McNeil Jr. posted a cell phone video that captured part of his arrest from February in Jacksonville, Florida. He claimed police brutality, and immediately anti-police activists and Ben Crump got excited. So this arrest occurred in February, and William never even filed a complaint with the department, but as soon as the sheriff was made aware of this, he immediately started an internal investigation. And in less than 24 hours, the sheriff released the body cam footage of the arrest. Now that is a fucking leader. The body camera footage clearly shows that this was a legal traffic stop, and William refused to provide his driver's license or registration.
Yes, sir.
Is there a reason why you're popping the door open like that?
I don't have a window that works. Is there a reason that you're pulling me over?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a reason why I'm pulling you over. For one thing, inclement weather, you don't have your lights on. Two things, you're not wearing your seatbelt.
It's daylight. I don't need the lights. And it's not weather. It's not raining.
Oh, this is inclement?
It's not raining.
Okay, I'm not arguing with you. I'm telling you why I'm pulling you over. Give me your driver's license, registration, proof of insurance.
No.
Take a good look at this picture. Do you see any raindrops? I don't. He says he also stopped him because he wasn't wearing a seatbelt. Judging from this body cam footage we have here, how do we know that for sure? Let me okay, 1 second. Let me be clear about two things. The first thing is I have nothing but respect for people who don the officers' clothing and go about doing their job as law enforcement officials. I have nothing but respect for them. Because if I was to do that, I'd have one function and I'd love the hell of it and I would probably abuse it. I could turn my lights on, pull people over for traffic offenses. And I'd love it. Which is why I don't do it. Simply because that kind of power can go to your head. Power corrupts. And absolute power corrupts absolutely. So, why would I put myself in a position that could potentially lead me down a dark path? Why? Why would I do that? I wouldn't do that. Therefore, I am not a police officer. The other thing that can be true goes back to an old saying that I've heard and fits very well in this context. In order for evil to perpetuate, all it needs is for good men to do nothing. Now, you'll hear people say that there are a lot of good cops out there, and I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that at all. But the question I would have is this. Where were those good cops when this was happening? Where were they? They weren't there. And when it got back to the station, and the boss was looking at it, where's Internal Affairs? Internal Affairs' main function is to police the police. That's why rank and file don't like them. There's a reason why rank and file police officers do not like IAB, because it is their job to go beyond the thin blue line and hold the officers accountable. And if I'm not mistaken, there is a civilian element to IAB, because who's going to watch the watcher? Who is responsible for IAB's oversight? So you have people with no skin in the game looking at them saying, this isn't right. Hold on a minute. Pump your brakes. Wait a minute. This isn't right. Let's get back to our video. Now, again, I don't see any rain. We can't tell if his belt was on, because once he opened the door, like he's going to get out, yeah, I'm going to take the belt off. Because I'm about to get out of the vehicle. Now, and so before you get out the vehicle, what do? You do your belt and you take it off. Now you're free to exit the vehicle whenever you want. So as of right now, I don't see anything that warrants a stop. Oh yeah, another thing the sheriff said is that he had drugs. Nobody knew that when they first came up, when they first stopped him. They didn't know that. They didn't know his license was suspended. So right there, those are two more lies. How are you going to know a license is suspended if they're not providing you with that information? He asked for a supervisor. Okay, sit tight. We'll call a supervisor. And you call him, and then you go from there. I don't understand where all this aggression came from. Let's get back to it.
He then locked himself in the car like a child and was informed 7 different times that he was under arrest, yet he still resisted.
Okay, he was arrested for what? You can't just arrest somebody because they didn't exit the vehicle, which is what they basically were doing. You want to get out the car? All right, you're under arrest. For what? For what? This makes no sense. Let's get back to it.
Right now, you're under arrest for resisting. Under arrest for resisting. The longer you take us on, the worse it's going to be. Open the vehicle and exit before we're going to break the window. Exit the vehicle now! Exit the vehicle!
The force used was justified, and the DA said today that the deputy committed no crime.
Of course he said that. Of course he said that. We can't jam up our own. And that has its roots in the gang mentality that has become modern law enforcement. Back the blue. Why? Why can't you have questions for them? That's all I'm asking. That's all I want to know. Why can't you ask them questions? Was he a threat? No, not as far as I can see. Let's continue with the video and see if he was one.
All right, so that's somebody I respect, Police Law News. I wonder, do I owe everybody an apology for this who was involved in this? We're going to look at the first body camera footage I found is Officer Miller's body camera footage from the arrest of William McNeil. So we're going to take a look at this together, and we'll figure this out. Does Izzo owe everyone an apology? We will check. We're actually going to reverse that. This is the backup officer. All right, no, okay, Officer Bauer's arrest. This is the initiating one. So, I miscategorized you, so I'll give you an apology on that. Again, body camera footage or the audio does not kick on until 30 or 60 seconds after the body camera's been activated. This looks like a Chevy Impala. I hated this fucking car. All right. Because I have the information from the last video, and they said that the traffic stop was for inclement weather, the failure to use headlights in inclement weather. My God. It's pretty fucking pathetic, you losers out there. Well, it's a law. It's a law. If that's the case, if we're going to die on the hill that this is a lawful arrest, that these cops leverage this inclement weather law, then every one of you cops who drives drunks, speeds, doesn't use a turn signal, every one of you motherfuckers needs to be cited, never given professional courtesy again, and ripped out of the car when you huff smoke or refuse to sit there and give your license, just flash a badge.
What you tell me what's wrong with what he's saying. He's about to go into it. It's not raining. It's cloudy, but it's not foggy. There are other cars that are going back and forth in the street beyond the Kia here. There are no lights. Where's the police pulling them over? Let's get back to it.
I'm sick of this shit. It's rules for thee, not for me. Cops don't give a shit about the law. They just give a shit about fucking over people. Number one, there's no inclement weather for this. It's an overcast day in Florida. This is a bullshit traffic law that's designed to fuck with people.
Bingo. Bingo. Inclement weather is nebulous at best. That rule is there to give police carte blanche to pull over whomever they want. It's not raining. There's no fog on the ground. It's a cloudy day. Visibility is perfect. So, what was the real reason why they stopped this gentleman? I'm gonna play this thing a bit more, and we're gonna get into it. And you may not like what I have to say.
Yeah, Florida 24 Bravo Echo Charlie Whiskey on a silver Kia. I don't like this.
Did you hear that? Unknown occupants. So they had no earthly idea who was in this car. Which means that they found out about the driving while suspended after the fact. After he was arrested. As far as I know, you cannot, repeat, cannot arrest somebody on suspicion. They have to actually be doing something that is contrary to the law for you to intervene. How many times do you watch TV shows, cop shows, where someone's going to tell them what they think is going on, and the police say, there's nothing we could do, they haven't done anything yet. If they know that on a TV show, you mean to tell me they don't know that in real life? I don't know. Let's continue.
All right, so you heard him say unknown occupants, right? Remember, Officer Tatum, remember Police Law News, unknown occupants means you can't see in the car. Now, a lot of you said, well, how is it racially or motivated on my end? Well, just because he didn't identify the guy in the beginning of the stop doesn't mean he can't change what he wants to do once he gets up to the car and sees who it is. If this was a white guy in a suit, you really think he would have been treated this fucking way? So if he can't see in the car, how does he establish probable cause was not wearing a seatbelt? Fucking lying police.
I really like this guy. I really do. I really, really do. Because he's being honest. And that's something that you just don't see anymore these days. How's it racially motivated? If it's not racially motivated until he gets up to the driver's window and takes a look into the car. Then right then a decision is made. A, white guy in a suit, default to this questioning. Or B, black guy. You don't even care what he's in. Black guy. Switch. He's probably guilty of something. I better take this course of action. Why? Why are you making it this way? Why? It doesn't have to be this way.
Yes, sir.
Is there a reason why you're popping the door open like that?
I don't have a window that works. Is there a reason that you're pulling me over?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a reason why I'm pulling you over. For one thing, inclement weather, you don't have your lights on. Two things, you're not wearing your seatbelt.
It's daylight. I don't need the lights. And it's not weather. It's not raining.
This is inclement.
It's not raining.
Okay, I'm not arguing with you. I'm telling you why I'm pulling you over. Give me your driver's license, registration, proof of insurance.
No,
All right, this is one of those things where it's the cop's words against his, and I hate this shit. This is a bullshit traffic stop. This needs to be, I don't know what this is. This is not law enforcement. You don't know how many occupants are in the car, so how can you see whether or not he's wearing a seatbelt? Number one, you're a liar. Illegal stop, unlawful seizure. Your probable cause is a lie. You didn't see it. Number two, inclement weather. Where? It's overcast. Where is that? This is insane. This entire thing should be thrown out. This man should be a fucking millionaire. Sue the shit out of the Jacksonville County Sheriff's Office.
Call your supervisor. Why?
Excuse me?
Call your supervisor. Why did you pull me over?
I've already told you.
Why did you?
Whoa. He just radioed in, send that back units, uncooperative adult driver. Was that necessary? It can go either way. And we'll give them the benefit of the doubt because as of right now, he doesn't know if anything is untoward. He doesn't know which way this thing can go. But uncooperative. He asked for a supervisor. Did he radio that in?
Pull me over.
Step out of the vehicle.
No.
Step out of the
Pull me
vehicle.
over.
Here's where every bootlicker loves to go. You step out of the vehicle. This Pennsylvania versus Mims needs to be overturned. It needs to be looked at because all it gives is cops power to do whatever the fuck they want in a traffic stop when they can't even tell the fucking truth about why they stopped somebody in the first place. This is a bad traffic stop. Inclement weather, but there's raindrops. It doesn't make a difference. Holy shit, and shove me in it. This is a pressing stop. He can't see whether or not the driver has his seatbelt on, so it's a lie. This is a lie. And then all of a sudden, uncooperative driver. No, the driver's asking flat out. Flat out. Well, I said supervisor, which is the
Called it. I called it. Thank you very much for proving my point. He rated an uncooperative male driver, adult driver. He's asking questions. Asking questions in and of itself is not necessarily being uncooperative. It's simply obtaining and asking for clarification. Where was the calling supervisor? Where was the radio call? Requested supervisor at my current location due to adult driver's request. Where was it?
theme of things now, especially because of the cops, or the fact that cops they're accused of shooting unarmed blacks all the time. So the black community is going to be like this because they think they're being singled out. And you know what? I'm going to tell you flat out. In these cases like this, guarantee if this was a white guy in a suit in a nicer car, he wouldn't have been stopped. And number two, he wouldn't have been treated this way. So let's.
True. True indeed. This is what we've come to. This is what we've come to. There's so many different ways, so many different points that this could have been avoided. The cops are supposed to be there to de-escalate a situation, not escalate it. They're not supposed to be there to actually they're not supposed to be there to make situations worse. Excuse me. Their motto is supposed to be to serve and protect. They're not serving anybody, and they surely were protecting this person. We're going to go a little bit further into this. And let's play a little bit more of it. And then I'll have my closing thoughts.
Oh my God. Never once was the knife in his hands, but it was there, right? This guy who sat, we all saw the video, who was non-verbally combative, who was asking questions, and literally all it would have taken is a little bit of art of the tongue to get him out. You vilify this man with his Rambo knife and the drugs he had in his pockets. Wow.
What's going on, man?
You're under arrest. That's what's going on.
No, bro. Yes, bro. Yes. Lawful reason, bro. You look on the floor like that, bro?
Yeah, I'm gonna take it off
now,
you,
man.
bro.
And I'm just trying to have a regular conversation with y'all, bro.
You just gotta see what's in
When they asked you
already.
about the vehicle, you said, "Sir, your partner didn't even ask."
Marijuana and drugs.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Is there a reason why the lights on?
For more lighting.
Doesn't that put a glow on people's heads?
No.
You could have bought a small one. Didn't need to have that sugar. So it seems Tiffany feels like I'm costing her too much money. I had another idea about something else. It's going to cost about $500. But they're doing it. I think it's hilarious. For shelving.
We need more shelving?
Yeah. Well, we have this big cupboard. It's probably about the size of this area. And we've got it just carts but there's a whole wall that's just there for the empty people to put their computers in. And I'm like, can't they find somewhere else to put that? We could put all shelving and all the stuff that we literally have all over the place and put it in one spot. And I like the idea. So there you go. It just costed them money.
Yeah, but it's worth it.
It's worth it. I should be the idea person.
Maybe that's your next job offer.
My pocket.
Yes, it is. So why close the door if you see him pull up? Because, man, what you mean? He talking about arresting me and stuff, bro. I didn't do nothing.
So that's his face is busted because of when they it's either the punch or when they just bashed his face into the concrete or the pavement.
This idiot.
Dude, look at this guy. This guy needs a fucking shower, a haircut, and a shave. Holy shit.
I didn't do nothing wrong. I don't know. Can you back me up to the car so I can lean up? What up? You both my done.
Can you start rescue?
I don't know if
You both my done.
I don't know what this cop in the doorway is doing. I know when I saw the driver's cell phone footage, one of them reached in for the driver's phone. I don't know if he picked up his phone. He's like, "Fuck, we were recorded."
Can you start rescue? 1067, approximately 30-year-old Bravo Mike, last race to the left. 2570. I'm gonna go around and get in this car. Okay. There you go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cruisers against one unarmed, compliant black male. Make it make sense.
I know. No. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
This is how he stopped him on his ass.
Oh, yeah.
This you can see the bumper. This is how the initial traffic stop was done. Again, here's an Impala, the original Impala that stopped him. I don't see any headlights on. Inclement weather, bro. Inclement weather.
true. I don't see, matter of fact, you don't see anybody's headlights on. Let's include weather. Officer, arrest thyself.
Another squad that came up didn't have headlights on. Inclement weather, bro.
You good? Yeah, you or him? Okay.
That's one. Let's go take a look at the responding unit body camera. This is the backup one. He just pulls up, and remember, he goes in front to block. He's the unit that requested to block, was requested to block him in. Bro,
Sir, can you please ask him what did I do wrong?
Well, we're conducting a traffic stop right now. You need to comply.
I am complying.
Hey, unlock the car. I'm going to push it up.
oh, okay, that's how that.
Open the door and exit. Open the door and exit. You are under arrest for resisting. Open the door and exit. You are under arrest for resisting. You are under arrest for resisting. I need an actual officer that works for.
Can you unlock the door and step out?
Can you talk to me though?
I will. Can you step out?
Because you don't even know the whole situation.
You're being done. There's a traffic stop being conducted. You're required to comply.
This is not bad. It's okay. It's okay. You could sit there and play his side, though. Yeah, man, the guy's an asshole. He's fucking new. I get it. When you get this, it's very easy to talk compliance. It will take a little bit of time. Gather all of your probable cause. Look at all around the vehicle. Look for all the shit as you're going through this. But take your time and talk to people like they're pieces, like they're human beings, not pieces of shit. You're doing semi-okay here. But I want to know, remember the knife? Remember? Officer Brandon Tatum, he had a knife. He was in possession of drugs. This cop should clearly see the knife, right? Still waiting for that to fucking happen.
So, yes. Correct. Huh? Okay. So what did he ask for when he I guess talked to you?
When he pulled me over,
Yeah.
Open my door because my window don't work.
Okay.
And then I said, so what I did wrong?
Yeah.
He said, well, for one, your headlights are off under this weather. I'm like,
Okay.
there's multiple people headlights.
Okay, that's still a legitimate reason to pull somebody over.
There's no rain.
It doesn't matter. You're still required to have headlights on.
That's nebulous. And that's just a tactic that officers will use to justify their actions. It doesn't matter. Yes, it does. It matters a whole lot. You better believe it matters. It's not raining. It's not raining. Make it make sense. It's not raining, people.
Huh? Yeah, when you step out of the car, I will. Huh? All right, go for it.
You want him to step out of the car. You want to negotiate with him while all the other units are coming lights and sirens. This is where a responsible cop keys up and goes, guy, kill the code. Don't go code. You're trying to get this guy out of the car, but every time you tell him, you try to one-up him with your authority, he's going to sit there and resist even more. You want him out of the car. When he says, yeah, it's a law, it's no headlights under the weather. You know, I understand. I get it, and it may seem ridiculous to you, but it is something we have to pull for. And what's the code? If you don't know it, fucking make it up. It's FLCS 123 ABC, and what it means is during this time, for the safety of the driver on the other side, others oncoming traffic, we want your lights on, right? That's that. What we're going to do is we're just going to run your license and insurance, and get you out of here in 5 minutes. There's so many better ways to do this. Guys,
And that's my whole argument. That's my whole argument. There are so many different ways they could handle it. This video is 45 minutes and 17 seconds. 45:17. And shout out to Cop Talk Live. This gentleman, I don't know his name, but he is a former law enforcement official. And to hear somebody who is well versed in law enforcement procedures, policies, and things like that, it does a man good. It does your heart good. Because, okay, let's go so far as to say that inclement weather, which is nebulous, but let's just say, okay, that is the reason. Well, no, that is the reason he was pulled over. It's one of those selectively enforceable rules. Selectively enforceable. Meaning you don't have to do it. It is up to your discretion whether or not you pull the gentleman over or pull the vehicle over. It's up to you. So why? Okay, we're going to say that, okay, it's a good call. And you heard, and everything you heard McNeil say actually has the evidence to back it up. You want the guy out of the car. And let's be honest. When you want the guy out of the car, you're ultimately looking to arrest him. Let's call a spade a spade. You want to arrest him. And it's easier to arrest somebody when they're out of the vehicle. So please step out of the car. Oh, dip. He wants me out the car. I don't want to get out the car. I'm not going to get out the car. Everything about the stop screams negligence. It screams misconduct. Excuse me. Everything about it. And the very fact that he didn't, in the first instance, launch a complaint, the dude was scared. And I challenge any person who is darker than blue to tell me, especially if you're a male, tell me you wouldn't be nervous as well. Nervous at the very least. Scared. I mean, look, you had 5 officers and 5 cruisers converge on your location. You had your window punched in while you're sitting there. Sitting there. He wasn't doing anything. He wasn't doing anything at all. He even put his hands on the steering wheel to show, I'm not doing anything. I'm not going anywhere. You're looking at a legal search. Because there was no probable cause to search the man's vehicle without his consent. He asked for a supervisor. Never saw one of those guys. Never saw that guy or gal. Never saw him. And then you got the sheriff talking his talk. He's going to back his people. He's dead ass wrong. He's dead ass wrong. There's so much wrong with our society today. And this is just a small snippet of it. All men may be created equal, but in the eyes of the law, some men are created more equal than others. And still there are others that aren't equal at all. You tell me, what's the difference between what they did and what the Germans did in World War II? Both targets were subhuman. Both targets. They were made to be subhuman. We gotta do better. And I'm gonna close it on this. There are those that say if he complied from the beginning, there wouldn't have been an issue. If he only complied. My question in response to that would be this. How far does my compliance need to go in order to satisfy you? He resisted arrest. That can go either way. Verbal noncompliance in and of itself isn't resisting arrest. Resisting arrest is I move to detain you, I put my hands up to detain you, and you do something, and you physically do something to deny my access. That is resisting. He never resisted. He got punched in the fucking face twice. Twice. And he was not non-compliant. They had him jammed up tight. He wasn't going anywhere. He was making no moves to go anywhere. Why couldn't you simply sit there, wait, call for the supervisor, and wait for him to get there? And in the process, talk to him, maybe get him out the car. Why couldn't you do that? How many times will we see stuff like this? And let's face it, with body cams and camcorders and phone cams and stuff like that, we're going to see a lot more of it. How much more do we have to see before somebody somewhere says, okay, enough's enough, we got to do something about this? There are good cops out there. I've met a few of them. They do their job, and then they go home to their families. But at the same time, those same good cops won't say anything if they see something wrong with a fellow officer. And that makes them complicit. They lose some of that shine. In an ideal world, they'd be the first to sit there, come up and say, wait a minute, you can't do that. Come over here. Come talk to me. But you don't see that because we don't live in an ideal world. You don't see that. We're going to revisit this at another time. So we'll put a pin in it here. We move into Power 5. I want to thank you all for allowing me to give my viewpoints on this situation. We gotta do better. We all do. This cannot stand. Because he's damned if he does and damned if he doesn't. He got punched in the face. Why? Not once, but twice. He got his window smashed in. Why? And he did it on a down low. He didn't even announce that he was going to smash it. He just smashed it. And I ask you, why? We need to do better. And not have the needs, the expressed opinions, desires, and beliefs of the minority to affect the majority. Until the next.